Hey guys, it's James Walsh here from the Wrestling Epicenter. I'd like to thank you for finding us here on YouTube. If you get the opportunity, please click that subscribe button as well as the notifications bell. This way, anytime that we upload any new content or new to you content from our archives dating back to 2002, you'll be notified. You can check out what we're up to. Please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and information needs, as well as check out our store to keep us running free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you're here. Thanks for checking out Wrestling Epicenter on YouTube.
December teleconference in advance of Turning Point this Sunday, live on pay-per-view, where we have the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match, Abyss against Sting, Christian Cage. We have, of course, the rematch, Kurt Angle against Samoa Joe. X Division title, Christopher Daniels against Chris Sabin, and many more, including an appearance, no doubt, by our guest, BG James. BG, welcome.
One half of the Voodoo Ken Mafia, the VKM short. Hint, hint. What's going on with you, Ross Perot? Just hanging out collecting millions?
Millions. So we can open it up for questions at this point.
Well, does anybody have a question for me, or can I ask you questions? What are you wearing right now?
Baseball outfit.
I love it. It's America's pastime. Are there any questions out there?
Our first question comes from James Walsh. Your line is now open.
Hi, PG. How you doing today?
What's going on, James Walsh?
Doing okay. Just wanted to ask you, how reminiscent is it to you doing this VKM thing than when you guys drove down to CNN Center in the damn tank?
It feels like we're doing it all over again. There's a little nostalgia there. It feels pretty good just to be involved in something at my age and in my the condition my body's in. So you know what I mean. I hate to be the old baby face and go, oh, I'm just happy to be a part of things. But the truth of it is, I am just happy to be in the mix, man. It's maybe rehashing some stuff, but I think the segments are funny, and I think they're entertaining, and I think that's, one look at my body, and you definitely know I'm not the sports part of this business. I'm the entertainment part of it. So, I mean, I'm having a good time. And yes, it's nostalgic. It's not quite the same as it was the first time, but I think it's funner because of who we're doing it to this time.
I think so too. But you guys are really getting people to talk, at least on the internet, about it. And what is your opinion of the way that they're reacting? Some people really either love it or hate it. And my question is, do you think that that's kind of a double standard considering how many of them loved it the first time it happened?
I don't know if it's a double standard. I think, to be quite honest, you're exactly right. There's a lot of people talking on the internet about it. And when you get a lot of people talking about things on the internet, it doesn't really matter whether they like it or they hate it. The fact of the matter is they're talking about it. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do with this. I think that's the exact direction we're going, is kind of stir things up a little bit, make wrestling interesting again. For the love of God, man, it's so drab and boring. I think it's let's have some fun with it again. I think if we will, I know the fans will. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and it is a double standard. If you bit the first time we drove down there with a tank, and then you're burying it this time, I can understand, they say, oh, it's just the same old stuff. But, it's all, everything's new. Everything old is new again. That's either an old saying that's old or it's an old saying I just made up.
All right, well, how far are you guys going to see this through? I know you guys showed up at the house show a few weeks back, if not last week. Are you guys ever thinking of maybe pushing buttons so far, of maybe even showing up in the front row of a live Raw or something like that?
The truth is, if we buy a ticket, then we can sit down anywhere in any building that there is. I don't think they have the right to refuse our buying a ticket. So I would count on them not to use that camera angle very often. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. But I'm not gonna count anything out at this point because we've only just begun. You know what I mean? So, but I think we could. I just don't think they would. I don't think they would show us very much.
All right, thanks so much, man. Definitely,
okay.
You keep doing it. I think it's funny, and I'll let somebody else know.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much. Are there any more questions there, Ross Burrow?
Our next question comes from Blackjack Brown. Your line is now open.
How's it going, Brian?
Blackjack.
My man, how's it going?
Yes.
All right. I wanted to ask you if you can elaborate a little bit more with the DX situation. I guess that seems to be mostly what everyone is concerned about at this time, through the internet and through every place else. I mean, do you ever see them acknowledging you guys finally and saying, all right, let's just go one-on-one. Let's just get it over with?
I think for anything, for a confrontation to have to ensue, we would definitely have to just approach them with a camera. And I think, at the same time, I think that would be great TV. I think that would be a stupid move. It's like those idiots that tape themselves committing crimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, I guess what your question boils down to is, where do you go from here, and how do you top what you're doing? And my answer is, I have no idea. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but we are, I think, making some good little segments and having a good time doing it. So I don't know where we go from here. You know what I mean? I don't want to, walk up to either one of those guys and punch them in the face. But wouldn't it be sweeter than pumpkin pie to have a match with them on a Raw? Well, because from what I heard, the owner of our company will already allow it to be on their television if we could work with them on a Raw taping. And I think that would be awesome. That would be, and like you said, everybody's talking about it now. It's whether they love it or they hate it, they're talking about it. We're getting people interested in the game of professional wrestling again. And I mean, whether we got to rehash some old stuff to do it, that's just what it takes.
Well, as the other side would go, if it's anything to make good money, then good business practices, I think that would be the best way to go at this point.
I'm definitely with you. I think there's a lot of, with people who have money, there's a lot of egos, and there would be a lot of political posturing, seeing who was going to do the job in that match, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But
at that point, it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, I can tell you who it would be, me. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
I never want to imagine my career. But no, you're right. It would be a huge moneymaker. I think that's almost like a Tyson fight payoff, It's just, that would be a good moneymaker, but I don't think the two people who are in charge of the two separate businesses would ever come together on a venture like that. I would love to see it, man. I'd love to be a part of it because I think it would be awesome.
It would be the only way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I totally agree with you. And so I don't, so in the meantime, here's my answer, I guess. And it's only kind of half booty, but in the meantime, we're going to do some good skits. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully they won't make us work too much because I'm fat and old and out of shape, and we'll have a good time while it lasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, because like you said, it either comes down to us. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to fight either one of those guys. I know Hunter's a new father, and I'm sure his life has, been enveloped by that. And I know that Sean's a born again Christian, and I know that his life's been enveloped like that. And I'm older too. I got another kid, and my life's different. And so I don't want to fight nobody or nothing like that.
Right, but we're still talking about the entertainment portion of it. You know what I'm saying? That's some of the fans. I mean, the time that we was on the road, man, we had so many. There were so many fans that were interested in what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them have turned away. So now to bring them back, this would be the way to bring back.
Yeah. You're right on the money. It was definitely it's getting them started to talking about it, and something like that should be the head of it. You know what I mean? Should be that final bus.
All right. Great talking to you.
Okay, man. Okay, I appreciate it, bro.
Okay.
Who's my next question from?
Our next question comes from Dogg. Your line is now open.
Okay, thanks a lot. How you doing?
Dougie Fresh, what's going on?
Got a quick question for you. How do you think Hunter and Michaels are doing with their current version of DX? What do you see when they're on the air? You
know what? I'm torn. I'm torn because I know that at the risk of sounding braggadocious, which is one of my favorite words because it's more than two syllables and I'm a redneck and I can say it grammatically correct in a sentence. I don't mean to sound braggadocious, but we were an important part of that team that got them over, and they're still over. Don't get me wrong. They come out, they get a huge pop. The people are waiting for their segment on the show because they know there's going to be money and time put into that segment. Whereas when Carlito wrestles through people or whatever the guy, whoever somebody else, there's not a whole lot of time and effort put into that segment. Let's be perfectly honest. At the risk of hurting Carlito and anybody else's feelings, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to put his name out there, but you know what I mean. They've invested time and money into this new DX thing, so people are waiting to see it and they want to see it, and they like what they. Well, I'm not going to say they like what they see. I don't like what I see. And there's a lot of. It seems to me, and I'm not a homophobe at all. I say live your life, man. Live and let live. But it seems like they do a lot of gay stuff, and it seems like they're not cool. It seems like they're not funny. It seems like it's almost the anti-DX from what I remember being involved with. We had fun with it, and it didn't look like forced fun. It didn't look like I was trying so hard to entertain the people. We were just having fun, and the people were entertained watching us. And that's the difference between then and now, man. It kind of hurt for those guys a little bit because they ain't sinking by any means. They're making cheese, and I'm sure they're happy in both their personal lives. But to see it on TV, it's nowhere near what it used to be. And I mean, short of getting me and Billy back up there, which is an impossibility, it's not going to ever be what it was. You know what I mean? And I'm not even sure if they got us back up there and did it again, it would be what it was. Timing is essential, and it was the right time. The Attitude Era, we had Austin, we had Rock. It was a lot of ingredients in that stew, man, that made that pop. But today's DX is kind of lame. I'm just being honest. Not the two gentlemen that are in it. The angle that they're in, or the storyline that they're in, it's just not entertaining to me.
Are they writing their own stuff, or is it being written for them, do you think?
Oh, I'm sure it's being written for them. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have creative control a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they're having stuff written for them, because I know if Shawn Michaels is walking the walk, in which my brother Scott, who works up there, has told me that he is, which puts me over, puts him over with me big time, that he's a born-again Christian, he's living that life. And so I know he wouldn't write himself into any scantily clad scenarios, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to walk that tightrope. And so I know stuff's being written for them, but I'm sure they have the ability to say yay or nay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, BG.
Okay. Hey, thank you, man.
Our next question comes from Jim Darfalone. Your line is now open.
I was wondering if WWE had contacted TNA during this segment storylines, or even if WWE legal tried to get involved, or is this something WWE is not responding to?
Oh, no, they've responded. Jim Ross's comment, they've responded legally 3 times, I believe. I don't quote me on that, but I know it's more than once. I think they responded 3 times, and Jim Ross has even commented on it. And to tell you the truth, that's really all I think with this gimmick. We're trying to rouse them. We want to get under their skin a little bit. And Jim Ross has already said, oh, well, Vince doesn't care about this. Well, if Vince didn't care about it, you wouldn't be talking about it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't even be, they wouldn't be sending legal letters. And we have received not several, but more than a couple, I believe, of legal letters, questioning this and that. And that's why we're using their legal names, because we can't use their their copyrighted names. So, I mean, they're paying attention. Believe you me, they're paying attention. And that's I guess that's all, because we're not gonna, unless a miracle happens and they come together and we have some kind of a tag title match, or whatever, to unify the titles. That would be awesome. I think that would be a great pay-per-view main event. I may be blowing my own horn there, but I think that would be awesome.
When DX was being talked about being reformed, recreated, how close, if close at all, were you guys going to WWE and be part of DX, or was that just something you read about or rumors that were out there?
It was. No, I was never contacted. It was nothing like that. It was totally. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I'm locked in to Jeff, and Jeff's a good friend of mine, and so I got a couple of reasons to hang around. My schedule is so awesome right now. I get to raise my children. So I was never even close to going back. I don't know if Billy had made contacts or not. I can't speak for him, but I know I was never even close to going back. I don't think I could do it legally, and I don't think I could do that to Jeff,
More question. I was wondering if Kevin Nash was discussed at all in this VKM angle, or if that may be something down the road.
Oh, wow. You know what, though? That's the first, actually, that I've heard anything about that. So I may have to give you some props when I bring it up at the booking meeting. But no, I haven't heard anything about that. But we need a few more people, because I'm old and fat, and he's no spring chicken, but he's in great shape. But we need a workhorse. We need some younger boys than Kevin Nash. We need two Kevin Nashes half his age. No, but that's a good idea. I never thought about that.
And lastly, how is it going for your life right now? You've had your demons overcome. Just how you deal with everything, and how things going for you?
Oh, well, I appreciate you asking. You're right. I have had a lot of demons. I think we all have troubles and trials and tribulations. Some are money, some are drugs, some are, relationships and stuff. I literally about 4 years ago, April, so it's 4.5 years ago, I guess. I was born again. I got born again. I got saved, and I know a lot of people think that's a bunch of hubbub or whatever, and I thought it was too, but it changed my heart. It changed my relationship with my wife, which I was split up with for 10 months. We each even have separate relationships going on, and God brought us back together, and I honestly believed it was God for the first time in my life ever. I witnessed God move me, and move my life in a positive direction. So as far as my life and how my personal life is going, man, it couldn't be any better. I got a beautiful little piece of land in a real rural country area where things are slow, and my kids are playing sports, and like I said, my schedule's so sweet. I'm gone hardly ever, so I catch all their games and parades and everything. It's just, it couldn't be any better. I'm not Mr. Perfect, and I'm no angel, but my life it couldn't be any better right now.
Very glad to hear that. You take care of yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Chris Ferguson. Your line is now open.
Thank you, Mr. James. It's an honor to speak to you.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
All right. I guess the first question
what's going on? You want me to ask a question? I got a question for you. No, what's going on?
Well, I guess the first question I have for you is, when you went to Titan Towers and asked the three unnamed gentlemen to come out with their pants up, did you get any response from anybody inside the building?
No, there was no one there. To be quite honest, when we filmed, it was at a time in the evening and in the morning where nobody would be there. There's no security. Nobody steals nothing up there. Everybody's rich as sin, It's Stamford, Connecticut, the city that works. I don't even know if they had the doors locked. We didn't check, but it was nevertheless, it was pretty frightening. It was pretty scary because I've been to jail before, not proud to say it, but I've been there before and didn't want to go again, especially not up there in a foreign land to a redneck. So, it was fun. It was fun. We had a little fun with it. I think we had, there's some pretty good segments came out of that. So it was fun.
Awesome. Well, I guess the second question I have is, if you were to unfortunately go to jail filming one of these bits, do you think TNA would pay your bail?
I know for a fact TNA would pay my bail.
Awesome.
Believe you me, that is always secured before I ever go to do one. Don't leave me. I understand if I have to spend the night, that's kind of once if you've been in the system a time or two, you understand maybe you might have to sleep on that brick for a little while. But I know they'd get me out, and they'd get me out in a hurry.
All right. I guess my final question. Once again, thank you for spending the time with us.
Oh man, no, that's no problem. It's my pleasure.
Final question would be when you accepted the challenge of the Hardy Boys for the ECW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Did you expect a response from the WWE? Even a cursory will pass on this?
No. I mean, I didn't expect any response at all, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we got, was no response at all. But I think the ballsiness of doing it, and the no ballsiness of not responding says it all. You know what I mean? I think it says exactly what we wanted to say with that. Hey, we'll wrestle you. We had to shoot. We trained you. We got them boys their job. Me and X-Pac, that's for real. They were doing we didn't get them their job. They're great workers, and they probably both work circles around me. But they were coming up there and doing jobs, and we always put in a good word for them dudes. And at the time, we had a little clout. So yeah, no, we challenged them. I think that was funny. You know, I think it's good entertainment. You know, yeah, hey, we'll take you on. You'll accept anybody. We'll wrestle you, and see if we could. Man, if only business egos could meet in the middle somewhere, and we could organize something like that. You know, how awesome would that be for the wrestling fans? It's sad that the business egos are never thinking about the wrestling fans.
Well, I'll let whoever's next have their set of questions. But once again, thank you for spending the time with us. Keep up the good work. The skits are very funny.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, I appreciate you saying that, man. It makes it feel worth my time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Keep it up, sir.
All right, thank you, man.
Our next question comes from King Jordan. Your line is now open.
Good afternoon, BGG.
What's going on, King?
Okay, you've been with TNA from the get-go, 2002, I believe, right?
That's correct.
Talk about when you were there in 2002. Did you expect it to be as big as it is right now in 2006?
You know what? No, not at all. I actually thought about that. I digressed a little the other day in the right frame of mind, and I thought about that. I thought, man, I was driving from my house up to Nashville once a week to film a Wednesday night pay-per-view, and look at us now. You know what I mean? I got action figures and the Toys R Us, and we got a primetime slot on Spike TV, which ain't no slouch. And no. I mean, I thank God that Jeff Jarrett did see the glass as half full. You know what I mean? Because I think everybody else, and they ought to sit back and think about it for a second. Everybody else said, this won't last 6 months, this won't last a year, whatever. And here we are, bigger, better, and maybe not dealing with the competition, but we are definitely called competition now. And I think that's a statement within itself, man.
Yeah, there's been some rumors that Paul Heyman has been let go out of his WWE contract. A, could you see working with him? And B, would you like to see working with him?
Oh, you know what, Paul? I don't think I'm gonna tell you a little bit about TNA. We got kind of and it's good for me, believe you me. Now, they got a good business sense about them, but they got a little bit of a southern style, redneck style of doing things. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but it's just kind of a different way. And I don't think he would be well liked around there. I haven't spent enough time, the jury's or the verdict's still out on what I think of him. And that's not a slam in any way, because I may be working with him tomorrow. But I just don't know him well enough to say, yes, he would be welcome aboard. And it almost makes me, the way I perceive him and the way I know the TNA, the upper echelon, as well as the boys are, I just don't see him being a welcomed acquisition, if you know what I mean,
Yeah. Also, talk about the tag team division compared to the WWE and your tag team division. You have the Dudleys, you have yourself, and LAX. There's so many great tag teams, and then you put on Raw, and you see combinations of Viscera and Charlie Haas, and That makes you scratch your head sometimes.
Yeah, no, yeah, it makes more than scratch your head. But that's the truth. We have a great tag team division. We really do. We have all good tag teams, and then they don't have any. I don't know if they. I don't know if they don't think that belt is important, or it seems like they've made that tag team title. It seems like they've made that almost like a joke. And not that Roddy Piper and Ric Flair were a joke by any means, but they put the belts on them, and maybe that was just to dump them off to Edge and don't Edge and Orton have them now?
Yes.
Yeah. So. And that's even an odd tag team because both of them are great in their own sense, but they're definitely not they're definitely, I don't know, I don't dig them much as a tag team. I'm really a big fan of Orton, but not a tag team. I think he stands out so much in his as a singles. So they just, they're just totally night and day, one end of the spectrum to the other. We have a great tag team category. They have a horrible one. So I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? I don't know who to put in charge of tag team, making up tag teams up there, but whoever they got now needs to be fired.
Are you still better towards Triple H?
You know what?
A couple months ago back, you and Billy Gunn, it came out on YouTube. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Can you talk about that? And can you tell me what your feelings on Triple H's man?
Yeah, they were a little different at the time, and that was just the timing was bad on that on that thing. But I'm not really sour towards him. We had one little incident before I left, and it was, in all actuality, it was me that was in the wrong and him that was in the right. So I don't think if anything, I probably owe him an apology, but I don't know that I'll ever get a chance to give him that one. So yeah, I don't feel I kind of like I said earlier to an earlier guest, I said, he's got a family now, and I know that's enveloped his life, and I understand what he's going through. So and I'm older too. I look at things a little differently. I look at him as a man growing up in America and raising a family, and you know what I mean. And so it's different times. I'm not looking at him as he was the man and I was behind him, and at the time I was caught up in the bullcrap and the him-haw, the wrestling world. And it's just that's too much. There's too little time in the real world to get caught up in that crap, And so I've kind of let a lot of that go.
I see, BG. And do you rule out any possibility of you going back to Vince McMahon?
I kind of do, and my reasoning is I'm locked into Jeff for about 3 more years, and I'm 37 years old now, and that would mean I would be 40 before I could go up there, and I just don't know. I don't have much left now as it is, and so 3 years from now I don't see me having much left at all. So I kind of in my mind, in my heart, I would be like, I'd love to get one more run, but in my mind, I just don't see it happening.
Thanks a lot, PG.
Okay, man. Thank you.
Our next question comes from John Waldman. Your line's now open.
Hi, BG. Good to talk to you today.
Hey, thank you. It's good to talk to you, bro.
Thank you. A couple questions for you. First of all, how did you come up with the name Voodoo King Mafia? It's not such an odd name, and for a lot of people, was it just 3 words randomly thrown together, or was there some sort of a method aside from the initials?
Of course, the method was Vincent K. McMahon. We had to come up with a V, a K, and a M. So that was the deal there. We had to come up with one. Well, they came up with very cool men. Cool spelled with a K. Well, that's gay. No, you don't have to be. I don't mean gay in a homosexual way. I just meant stupid. That's stupid. Bad use of wordage. But that was not a non-starter. So me and my 15-year-old son sat down in our living room, and I wrote down V, and he was on the computer, and I was looking through a dictionary, because I don't know how to use a computer, and he don't know how to use a dictionary. So we looked at I wrote down every V word I could think of that was cool sounding, violent and vagrant, and just anything I could think of that was pretty cool sounding. And we did that with everyone, and I came up with Voodoo Kin Mafia because I don't know, voodoo, even though it's a black magic or whatever it is, I don't really understand it. I don't believe in it myself. I don't think it's for real, but it sounds cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. Yeah. It's like it's just Papa Shango. It's cool, you know? And so, then the kin, K-I-N, was where me and Billy are supposed to be brothers. So maybe you can make the correlation, and maybe not, that it's a voodoo kin in a kind of way. We're just put into a brotherhood, you know what I mean, through our line of work. And then the mafia, that I went through a lot with that, militia, mafia, militants, you know what I mean. I went through a lot of different hymns and I just think the mafia, you know, everybody the mafia is perceived to be cool, right? It's cool, you know what I mean? Killing a person with a shovel and putting him in the trunk of your car, that's cool. So so that's how we came up with the name Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Now you
our shirts come out soon, by the way. I hate to cut you off, and they look cool as crap, so you'll dig those too.
Now you obviously had a couple other partners in DX back then, in Sean Waltman and Johnny Lauer, who aren't part of the WWE anymore. Obviously, Sean is committed to the Wrestling Society X project.
Right.
Joni is available. Was there any thought towards bringing her in for this angle?
No, none at all. And it's sad to say, but from what I understood, there was some interest in Kiddo and bringing him in. X-Pac, you know, there was some interest in that, but there was no interest in Joni. And I don't know the ins and outs of that deal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the upper echelon, but I had heard stuff about trying to bring Kiddo in, and I never heard anything about trying to bring Joni in.
Mm-hmm. And just finally, I want to take you back to the DX invasion when you guys went to the arena. I believe it was in Atlanta when you guys did the invasion there. Let's say that Eric Bischoff would have called your bluff and would have opened the doors and gladly let you guys in. Did you guys have a plan in mind to have that happened, or were you just going to wing it?
Yeah, we would have just winged it. That's really basically all we did every time, was they would write us into a scenario, and once you get there, it's up to you to wing it, to get out of it, to do the best. If they would have let us in, we'd all crapped ourselves because we had no idea what we'd have done by then. You know, we just kind of knew they ain't gonna let us in. You know, they're not gonna do that and let us film. But we had no idea what to do. And they actually did call the cops, and about 10 cops pulled up around our rental van, and it was not. I mean, it was exciting, but it wasn't very fun. You know, they searched our car and searched our everything. But it was, you know, it was at the time it was great because I was caught up in all of the wrestling and the drama of it and stuff now. And I don't know, I've grown up a little bit more now and know a little bit more about the business, and I'm like, now cops pulling up around me now ain't cool to me no more.
Thanks a lot, BG. It was great.
All right, man. Hey, thank you.
At this time, there are no more questions.
All right, so I can just talk to you guys. You want to just hang out, shoot the breeze, what's up?
Hey, Ross, you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Is that it, Ross?
That is it. Thank you.
Okay, hey, man, I appreciate it.
Partner, but this is the operator. We have another question from Jim Darfalone. Your line is now open.
Okay. Jim.
Yeah, sorry, before I let you go,
That's all right.
you were talking about you're 37 now.
Yeah.
Your body's been worn down.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts then when it is time to put the boots up, so to speak? Are you looking at that right now? No, not yet.
You know what? Yes, I'm in a very, very, blurry, dense crossroads in my life career-wise right now, because it's the first time I have actually started going, okay, what am I going to do now? You know, where is the electric payment coming from now? You know, because I am winding down. You know, I think I still would have a lot to offer to the wrestling business in a mental capacity, you know, to try to, you know, ideas or helping people with promos or being an agent or something like that. But, I don't, you know, if they'll keep me on and do that, I'll just stay and do that till I'm dead, you know, like some of the guys do. But no, I'm at a real crossroads, you know. I don't know what I'm going to do next, and it's vexing.
Your brother is refereeing.
Yeah.
Is that something that might even be down the road too, or just
No. That's not one try. If I can't be in the ring, be in the center of attention, and I guess that's probably my downfall. But no, yeah, I got to be center of attention when I'm in there. If I'm not, I just should not be in there.
All right, thank you again.
Okay, man, thank you.
My name is James Walsh, and I'd like to thank you for checking out the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please do. Click that subscription button and the notifications bell. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload any new or new to you classic content from our archives that date back to 2002. If you get the opportunity, please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and info needs, as well as our store to keep us going free and clear.